Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Anthony Richardson versus Kentucky. Fired up for this one. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Great way to support the channel. It's never been cheaper. There's never been more content available over there. In fact, if you want to watch even more Anthony Richardson video, there's at least one other Anthony Richardson video over there, an entire game for the Quarterback School Patreon community. So hop over, support the channel. I sincerely appreciate the support. As for this video, let's get into it. All right, Anthony Richardson, Week 2, 2022 versus Kentucky. First one here, we're going to go a little shift to get an RPO up top glance, split flow inside zone, reading that number 7 defender to the box. It's going to be number 4 from the end zone here. He's going to enter from our left. He's actually going to hit Richardson below the waist here. Takes kind of a tough, awkward hit. Still get the completion. Now, is it a perfect throw? No. All right, and the accuracy is certainly an issue. But it's certainly a good enough throw. Back shoulder, someone hitting us as we do it. There's a lot to like. I personally love seeing quarterbacks be able to handle the RPO game like this. So what exactly am I talking about? That split flow action. So there's that split flow action. And then it's just inside zone for everybody else usually. Quarterback-wise, on this play, because you've got 6 people in the run unit, that usually means that you're responsible for the 7th defender. So they've got 4 in the front, 2 backer types in the box. So that's going to make that 7th defender have to be whatever one is on that, whatever one's going to impact the run. Most likely it's usually going to be to the play side. So right here, we're going to be, as soon as he inserts up, we got to have something behind it to take advantage of it. Most teams are going to run some sort of glancy type route. That's exactly what happens here. Now you've got to be able to get it up and down before this middle field player in the corner squeeze it. This is a very nice job from Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to say his initials and the number. Okay, don't freak out. But I like this completion. I mean, look at the guy right at his legs. That's tough. If anything, I would say, hey, running back, if you don't get the ball, try to help us out there. Don't avoid the contact. But still, that's a nice completion. That's a big-time hookup. That's a play you will run in the league. That's a play that a lot of teams use, getting that vertical stretch in the RPO game. I love it. Really nice job here from Anthony Richardson. Next one here, tough miss up top. So the number 1 up top, this looks like quarters, split field coverage. We've got a quarters beater post up top, and we sky mail this thing and miss on the wrong side. So we've got him schemed up. And I think, during this video, I'll have some scheme conversations because I probably have some issues with significant portions of the scheme of this, but this is not one of them. So that classic kind of quarters-ish look, not necessarily birds on a fence where you're thinking 0. If it was 0, it would be kind of like everybody flat across. This is that kind of traditional split field safety. Who knows? It could be anything in the SEC. You're thinking brackets, you're thinking whatever, but I'm thinking quarters here. And you get a quarters look to me with a short side of the field post here, even if that corner, so say that corner is off and inside, and you're going to run this post and you're like, God, I don't really like this leverage. Well, when you come up here to run this thing and the corner has to stay over the top of you vertically, I feel like I say this in damn near every other video, but you can miss anywhere you want over here. I mean, anywhere. Where you can't miss is on the other side of his stem because you're falling back into the corner. So to me, these are not good misses. The kind of the quality of the miss matters. Okay. And for me right here, not only is it a massive play opportunity, just body the guy up. Throw it anywhere you want in between the hashes. It's got a completion. Instead, you miss well away from that landmark. And, again, I have to acknowledge maybe they run it different. I don't know. I will also say that for some reason, he looks a little closed off. Almost like he's like no-looking someone out there. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying his shoulder to me doesn't look like where I would want it to look if he was going to throw it down the hash. Just use the hash as a landmark. To me, he looks like he's ripping that like a comeback out there as opposed to being lined up down the hash for that big post opportunity. And you can see where the ball ends up. I mean, it's well off the hash, well nowhere near his landmark. Next one here, middle field closed. Here we get the number 2 eligibles here running seams. We're going to hit the one up top. It's a nice chunk. Is it a perfect throw? No. Is there precision in the accuracy in the drop back game? Not really on this film. Now, is it a big chunk and a completion? Yes. Okay, it can be both, y'all. And y'all are going to have to deal with it because this is exactly the same type of stuff I'm going to imagine he's going to hear in NFL quarterback rooms where you say, hey, like this read. Okay, we're going to get the number 2s running up here. We're going to get middle field closed. Okay, so we're just going to be off this player. Now, a better ball is right on him and allowing him to continue to run, potentially make a big play, get some yak, as opposed to a open diver. You know, it can still be a completion, and we can still have to demand ourselves to be better than this. Again, now maybe he could keep his feet. You know, I don't know. He's bodying that up as he dives it. I'd love for him to try to keep his feet there, but I'd love a better ball would make it much easier. And it feels like on most of these plays from within the pocket, I want to say a better ball would make it easier. Not all the time, but right here, yes. Next one, this straight up unreal. This is an unreal throw to the field, to the guy in motion. He's going to run a wheel or rail. This is a naked, and all he does is drop an absolute seed. Okay, I challenge anybody to give me a better throw than this draft cycle. This is just some random naked keeper where the sneak flat gets knocked off. But that is an absolute strike on the wheel rail to the field, off platform going to your right. So watch the defensive end 90. Boom. He's going to hit that sneak flat. And that's the first read. Boom. He's knocked off his track. Now we got to make a play. Look at that throw. Look at the accuracy. On this channel, what do we say? Up on his face. Right? There it is. It would hit him in the face. That's on the 40, right? He catches that on the 40. Gets both feet in. Good on Sundays. This is a wild throw. So, again, we're trying to get the ball here. You know, that's that sneak flat. Their defensive end or edge player does a nice job closing this thing, closing the door on this cat, doesn't let him get out easily. Well, usually you think, okay, then we'll work the over. Not Anthony Richardson, not right here. He's going to take this thing, fake it, get out on the edge. Okay, you got to navigate the edge. We'll come back to the edge issues on a naked keeper later on an interception. But right here, to get to this throw, okay, he's at the 10. He's going to throw this thing, what I'm going to call a wheel rail, up on the sideline, so way out here, at the 40, on the move, not setting his feet, flicking it. Y'all, this is what it looks like. This is top 5. This is how you surge. I mean, these are just unreal throws. And it's almost like the ease at which he's able to flick it. That just whoop, the whip right up on him. Perfect. It's as good of a highlight as you will see. And he's doing it kind of semi off schedule because you're trying to get the flat. This is not designed to take a shot. But my goodness, he puts that on the money. I love it. Next one, 3rd and 10. Okay, speed out up top. Crazy anticipation. This NFL anticipation, this is outstanding, especially versus double A gap and the right guard sabotage. It's a dot. It's the 3 A's talk about too. Look at the anticipation when he lets this thing go at the bottom. 3 no hitch. There's the separation. Look at the receiver up top. He's running that speed out. He's not close to getting into that speed out yet. And the ball is perfect. Precision. So he's got the ability to do it from the drop back game. And the timing and anticipation is probably better than I would have thought. Just looking at the box score, certainly. 14 for 35 with 2 picks. But this, watch the right guard. We get double A gap. The right guard's got to squeeze this thing, or he's got to go out to the 3 technique, depending on, there's a lot of different ways to handle this. Okay, let's just pretend that this is how they're trying to do. So the center goes this way. Oftentimes these double A gap guys who used to watch Mike Zimmer on TV, this guy will fall out. Okay, well now this guy's coming and this guy's blitzing, or this guy's rushing. Well, the back usually will go whatever side the center doesn't. So he'll usually come right here, and then the big will stay on the big. So this is a linebacker type. This is a running back. So that's a better matchup than a defensive tackle edge end player. So we usually want that. What you can't have happen is the right guard go here, the back go here, and have the guy with his hand on the ground run free through the B gap, right? A gap, B gap. Got to protect the A and the B gaps at all costs. Right here, Anthony Richardson doesn't care. He beats it with precision. Damn. Look at the throw. Boom. I mean, almost knocks his hands off. That is a laser to the wide side. Now, is it my favorite footwork in the world? No, but it doesn't matter when you're this kind of athlete. He gets it out. I love the timing. The timing is my favorite, the rhythm of it. Again, the capital A anticipation, y'all, for a guy who hasn't played a lot of football. The arm strength, the accuracy. This is it. You're watching how someone gets drafted in the top 5. This is it. This is not on everyone's film. And to overcome some issues up front, I like it even better now. 1, 2, 3. Now, what would I like even better footwork-wise? Just dovetail, get lined up to the left a little easier, make it easier for yourself. But he's kind of there. You know, I think he's not, you know, I'd love to see him just a little bit more over the center, but I'm being super nitpicky. That is outstanding. That is an awesome, awesome rep. Next one here, 1st and 25. We're going to go play action, rip a deep curl up top to the new number 1. This is a laser. That is throwing a 99-mile-an-hour fastball to the catcher who has to flip around and catch it. Now, I think the guy should have to catch it. I also think that the route is not great, but I just want you to appreciate the velocity first from the back end. Whoom. So. That is a rip. Now, route-wise here, and again, I'm not in the Florida wide receiver room, offensive coaching room, whatever. But most times when you run this kind of route where you're going to curl or come hook or whatever you want to say, whatever your verbiage is, to come back, usually you want to come right back to the quarterback. Why is it important to know what you're going to do at the top? Because then we can play with anticipation. If you have the freedom to curl or kind of like hunt up the middle of the field, well, then we're not going to be able to play with anticipation. We can play with anticipation if at the top you're supposed to come right back to the quarterback. And so he's allowed to throw this thing with a little anticipation. And it's a laser. Okay, it's special arm talent. So watch the top of this route. See how he's separating here before he gets out of that break? So Anthony Richardson is expecting him to be somewhere. Now, does he tight turn that thing? Puts his hand on the ground? You know, it's pretty tight. I think it's not world class coming straight back. He also puts that landing gear down. You see the turn signal go down to the ground? That's not what we want, coach. Okay, we're not running whatever drill that is, whatever shuffle drill that is. Pump your arms, come tight out of that turn. And again, the Florida staff knows what they're doing. I'm not saying that they don't know how to coach up their guys, but they've got to be able to do it at a high level. And that is a perfect throw, in my opinion. That's a straight up laser off his chest, ripping it down the field on 1st and 25. Can't catch it for him, y'all. So when you look at the box score, and it sucks, 14 for 35, but you turn on the film, and you've got drops like this. I mean, come straight back to us, catch it with your hands, and get out of that break. That's a big chunk. Dang. So the one before this, we missed the curl. Then this one, the very next play, we're going to miss the over up top to the number 2. And this is just a sky mail. And this is one of those ones where you have to make sense of, or try to make sense of, if you're going to be interested in drafting a guy like Anthony Richardson. Because these types of misses, these are unsettling to me. If I was going to stake my future to this type of thrower, you know, maybe he thinks the umpire is going to pick it off. I don't know. But anytime you make a throw over the middle of the field, or anytime you make a throw anywhere, and the eligible that you're throwing to doesn't even try to get it, that thing is really off target. That's not a far throw. What is it, a 15-yard throw? Right down the middle, right down the hash? So we're sky mailing it, and these are the ones, and this is one of the ones I put on there. There are multiple throws like this in the game. They don't saturate the film, but there's enough, you know, there's 1.25, certainly 1.5, where you're like, shake your head and be like, wait, what? Why are we missing that? I mean, it's a significant, substantial miss on a throw that is 15 yards right down the middle of the field, wide ass open. Sky mail. Remember the old sky mail? Do they still have that on planes? I have no idea. Now, I used to play a fun game in the NFL actually with that Sky Mail magazine. You used to have to flip it open, and whatever you landed on, close your eyes, put your finger on a page, and you're buying it. Oh man, the good old days. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. It lets you know when we go live, when we put out new content. I sincerely appreciate the support for the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for subscribing. In addition, again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only do you get even more Quarterback School content, but it's never been cheaper to join, so hop over there, become a patron. I sincerely appreciate your support. In addition, we've got Quarterback School courses, really the premium content available through the channel on all of my favorite football topics. We've got one on RPOs. We've got one on tempos, pass protections, how to beat every coverage, and then the granddaddy of them all, an entire offense, a full offensive framework. So if you enjoy how I talk and teach ball, you will love those courses. Get over there, check them out. I appreciate it. Finally, we've got some free resources available. We've got a free Pass Pro Quiz. Talks about things we talk about in this video, double mug pressures, running back duels, hots. We also have a play calling tool, really kind of this fun interactive game that talks and thinks about how personnels dictate how you beat certain coverages. So based on what your best personnel is, how can you best attack what coverage you expect to see? So hop over there, check out those two free things. And then finally, we have a free quick game course. I talk about the course in the second half of this video because it's applicable to how Anthony Richardson is playing the quick game. So if you're interested in any and all of those things, they're all linked in the video description. I appreciate it. As for this video, let's get back to it. Next one here, two-pointer. This is a really nice play. 2-point completion to the back. They're going to try to run like crossers, double crossers in the end zone. I don't love this design, but I do love Anthony Richardson finding the check down like this. Well, there's nothing there. I'm not sure what we're trying to get done with that 2-point play, but I love Anthony Richardson here saying no, 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 making a good decision. Okay, there's nothing there at the top of this thing. We'll pause it at the back. You tell me where you want him to go with the ball. You really only have two routes. Okay, there are the two crossers. Both of them are leveraged up coming out of it, right? They do a nice job passing those off. Look at the back. Double mailbox. Boom. Pretty rare. Okay, pretty rare to go double mailbox like that. But Anthony Richardson does a nice job with the pocket movement. He's got some natural pocket movement ability to find lanes. You can see the lane here. Got to be able to get up in there, not panic because it's not there, because the play design, the play call is not good enough, and create. Find that little lane, shovel it through there. No, no, no. Yes, 2 points. Thank you. Again, let it play full speed here just so you can see the timing of this, the play clock that you have to play with. Because besides for those two crossers, we've got like this check swing from the motion man, but that's not going to get it either. I love the different arm angles as well. So it's a combination of not making a bad decision, not forcing it, but it's also a 2-point play. So we want to try everything we can to get these points. Find the lane with your arm and be able to get it to the right guy. No, no, no. Ooh, yes. Big play. Love it. Next one here. 3rd and 3. Interception. This is a tough one for me. Now, every team is going to be different. Okay, but a universal trait of playing quarterback in football is that if you run what most people call a naked or a keeper, okay, that edge player, 15 on our right, he's going to be unblocked. Now, you might have plays like this where someone is running at him and deking him. So running at him and like, and then into the flat. That's what I call a deke. Regardless, this edge player is the quarterback's. Okay, so my own issues, anecdotal issues that you got to live with because you're watching the video and the channel, is I don't love naked keepers from gun. Okay, I just think it makes it easier on this guy. But okay, you're going to come out here, bluff him into the flat. I'm not that mad at it. Okay, a lot of teams run it. Quarterback-wise for me here, you have to be able to get vertical to handle a worst-case scenario. Worst-case scenario is this guy thinks that he's blocking a punt. Okay, he's in a track stance, and he is sprinting for 10 yards deep, going to smoke you coming out of this fake. You have to have a plan, and that plan is usually play fake, vertical, and throw the flat. And if the flat gets jacked or isn't there, you got to throw it at its feet. That's the worst-case scenario. Well, this is worse than the worst-case scenario because now you have this edge that you can certainly navigate, and you allow this edge player who you have to negotiate with the throw to put his paw on the ball for an interception. So it's just, this is on the quarterback. This is on, we've got to be able to navigate this edge. You can't just come out here and throw this thing like it's a walkthrough. And again, we saw that really nice throw on the naked keeper earlier. The thing I didn't mention is that I thought he came out a little flat. So that's flat to me. A more vertical path not only allows you to navigate the edge if there's a hot or pressure issue, but it also gives you a different window. So that window to throw that flat here, that angle is a little tighter versus if you're a little bit deeper, that window now can give you a little bit more opening to kind of wrap it around this edge player. Or the other thing, and the thing that we haven't talked about at all this video yet, is I'd love to see a little bit more touch. For a guy who throws a fastball, a lot of guys who throw fastballs struggle with throwing a changeup or touch or hitting those kind of like high irons, wedges. Right here, you need a little touch. Get it up and over as opposed to that. That's way too easy. Now, it's a nice touchdown saving tackle, but dang. Again, this to me, these kind of turnovers, and really why you lose this game because of these turnovers, because they're right up in it until these two interceptions in the second half. It's just unfortunate. These are things you have to learn from. Quarterbacks are going to make this mistake. You just hope it happens, in practice. And again, maybe that's how they're coaching the quarterback to come out of it. I just wish, man, dog, come out of that thing deeper to give yourself a better angle and a little bit more touch. Because if he gets his hand on it, same as a screen, it's the quarterback's responsibility, in my opinion. Next one here, another interception. Now the score is 16-16. Okay, this interception to the bottom. It's obviously not good, to get a pick six like this, miss a tackle, be a nice tackle in open field, to be honest with you. But I can't sit here and tell you, hey, this is on Anthony Richardson, or this is on that eligible down here to the bottom who looks like a running back. All I can tell you is that in most universal football situations, you're not going to want to throw any type of short route. And I'm going to call whatever this route is, whatever this is supposed to be. I'm going to say it's supposed to be a hitch. Let's pretend it's supposed to be a hitch because it looks like he just comes out here and jogs. Okay, now, I don't know if it's on him or if it's on him. It's on one of these two. At the end of the day, it's on the quarterback because comes out on his stat sheet. But let's pretend, okay, because this can play two ways. Let's pretend this is a locked hitch. So you're going to come up here and rip this thing. Well, if you catch what looks potentially like a corner who is peeking in at you, whether he's cloud or cheating because this is a running back and he doesn't care what he runs out here because he probably doesn't have a full tree of options. If this guy's looking like this, coming downhill, you don't want to throw a hitch into that. Now, a lot of teams will have what they call converted routes, where these kind of adjust based on the route. So if he comes up, this will adjust. Well, then obviously it's on the quarterback for making a poor decision, not seeing it. Regardless, I don't think it's a premium look to throw a hitch into or a stop. It certainly doesn't look like they're on the same page. And I mean, that corner just makes it easy. He catches this one. He's got another one potentially he could catch later in the game for another interception. But that is as easy as it gets. And again, these mistakes on the film, you have to at least acknowledge them for what they are. They are glaring errors. Okay, they're not like, oh man, that DB made a nice play, tip, caught by another guy. That looks like a miscommunication hitch that gets picked off potentially by a cloud or cheating corner who essentially walks into the end zone to change the game. It's 16-16 right now. Brutal, tough INT. Next one, 3rd and 6. Okay. Again, to me, they're on the wrong page at the bottom of the screen. Now, I got a lot of issues with some of the play calling in this game. I would have loved to have seen them run Anthony Richardson better. I would have loved to have seen them use a more diverse and robust catalog of quarterback runs. And I got to also acknowledge here, this looks like they're trying to throw a stop route or a hitch to a tight end. It's 3rd and 6. So I like that idea of being able to have something out here. But again, I'm not up to date on Florida's personnel, but this guy runs like a tight end. Okay, so he shifts here. Great. We get to 2x2. So if this is a hitch, 5-ish yards, 6-ish yards, you're not going to catch a first down, right? It's 3rd and 6. This guy's way off the line of scrimmage, right? He looks like a tight end with his alignment. He's got his toe on the 40. The ball is on the 42. So he's already 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. So if he's going to run a hitch, it's essentially going to be almost a 10-yard hitch from where he's at to get a first down. That's more stoppy to me. Now, you might think, dude, you need to shut up and get on with the video. But this is the attention to detail of routes that matter on the perimeter. And this is why a guy doesn't look polished in his drop back game, because they don't look polished on the perimeter. I don't know what the hell route this is. I don't like this tight end running it. He looks too slow to run outside the numbers like this to be able to get a first down on a 3rd and 6. But this is there. If it's a stop route, it's there. If it's a hitch, he runs too deep. Regardless, they're not on the same page again. It looks like a drop back game that has just lost its soul, lost its confidence. They look all out of whack because that's there. But we can't hook it up. And I feel like when you look at the film, there's too many errors or mistakes to just blame Anthony Richardson. Okay, now, again, maybe I'm off my rocker and that tight end runs a perfect route, just what they wanted, and Anthony Richardson just skymails that thing. Maybe. I doubt it, though. Next one, 4th and 3. Okay, there's a couple 4th downs here to finish this game off that are rough. This one, slant up top versus press. We're hot. The precision of the throw is not perfect. It comes out a little high. 32 is going to be hot for us in the A gap. We actually get a little lucky. You know, you be the judge. I think 32 almost turns it down. Watch him kind of stop like, So we get a little bit more time than we want. Now for me here, I personally like this design. We go fast forward with the motion. So we're going to have these 4 eligibles over here. You've got this press look up top with a slant. Now again, I think these wide receivers could help us out quarterback-wise here and make this thing look like a vertical with a lot of suddenness and burst and then come underneath. But we talk a lot about, in fact, I know a really good quick game free course that is available in the link to this video that talks about slants versus press are different animals. What you want to do oftentimes is take one and then sink on that back foot, that back hip, because you've got to allow this guy to win. It's like another half count. But when he wins, or if he gets inside, you can't throw a ball high. You got to put it right on his body, allow him to protect himself and make a contested catch. So that's a lot to say this ball is high. He looks a little out of whack. Doesn't it look like Anthony Richardson expects him to win right away? Watch him like see how he turns it down? He goes, like pumps it because he's not ready. He's not ready because it's press. He's not ready because he doesn't know this yet because he's only played in a handful of games. So yeah, there's going to be a learning curve. This is a perfect example of a play that should be there. He's going to take a hit, but the polish there, even in the quick game, is not where you would expect it to be on a Sunday. And we miss it, and it's their ball. Next one, 4th and 6. We're going to get to quads. We're going to move the launch point. I like the design. You can't throw a flat into a cloud corner. You can't do it. You can't think you're going to stop him with the throw. You can't throw a grounder. We're out there looking like we're skipping rocks. He can certainly throw on the move. But again, I mean, you be the judge of this type of miss. Now, it's a misread as much as it's a misthrow, and it's a bad misthrow. Okay, so we're going to get to quads. We've got 4 eligibles up top here. We're going to set this edge, try to reach it. We're going to run this, what I'm going to call a flat. Okay, it's 4th and 6. Here's the first down marker. Okay? I'm going to call it a flat. I'm going to call this an out, and I'm going to call this a must outside release go. Okay, which is not a good route. Again, precision to detail, attention to detail, precision in the dropback game because he throttles down here. This to me is a cloud corner, meaning a flat defender corner. He's rolled up. He's not getting any sort of depth. So you can't throw anything into the flat versus a cloud corner. Or I don't want to. I'm not familiar with an offense that does. What you then do is you try to get this layered element of this out, and then hopefully the guy on the outside is just an absolute rocket up the sideline, clearing that thing out. But what he ends up doing on the outside is muddying the pitcher because he gets out there and throttles like he's going to get a hole shot. But we've got this out coming to the same space. regardless, either one of these guys probably gets a first down. Easier for me to say and draw than for Anthony Richardson and the Gators to do. But this is another fourth down, L. L on the throw, L on the read. And, you know, not throwing flats into the sprint rollout game, to me, is kind of a JV read. Some of these reads are a little bit harder, where you're asking the quarterback to see things, but this is you're running towards him. You're looking right at it. You just cannot throw this. And the scheme is not great. Trying to force this type of flat into a cloud corner on fourth down. I like moving the launch point. We got to have better options than this. And look at that throw, man. I mean, my goodness. Good night. Last one here, 4th and 8. This really is a turnover-worthy play. Down here to the bottom, number 3. Like number 1 right here. Going to drop what should be his second interception. He's mad at himself. This to me is less about accuracy, more about vision. He's working to the field. No, he just blindly comes back here and chucks this thing. And I mean, he gets a completion, which is pretty crazy that this is one of his 14 completions. But this ball goes right through his hands. Boop. I mean, there's no way he sees that corner. So again, flat defender, he doesn't see. Gets fortunate that it's not a third interception. Get no up top. You know, I probably think in this situation you have to rip that seam to the number 2 versus that funky Tampa look right there. How about that wide receiver up top, just Debo in that corner. Boom. But my goodness, just vision issues, accuracy issues, getting exposed here with really what looks like kind of a lack of confidence. Things went sideways. We just couldn't get it back on track. So that is a wrap. Anthony Richardson versus Kentucky. Tough L. Really some tough turnovers more than anything else. I think when you look at the kind of stats of this game, Anthony Richardson's completions, the completion percentage, I think when you turn on the film, you feel a little bit better, or I do. Now, are there some misses? Absolutely. Are there some consistent accuracy concerns? Yes. Okay, there just are. Are they fixable? In my opinion, they are. And the good is so good. It's so dynamic. There are some just eye-opening, eye-popping wow throws. And the velocity and the anticipation is there. It's not a one-off thing. I think for me, that's something I look for in this kind of prospect projection things. Guys who anticipate seem to do a little bit better, in my opinion, making that transition to the Sunday game. And so he anticipates a number of really tough throws. And he's got that great velocity. I think there's a lot to like. There really is. And I feel better about it now, even when I go back and watch what might not be the best statistical game for Anthony Richardson. The foundation, kind of the pillars, the scaffolding to his game, to me, looks like he's got a potential to really thrive on Sundays. I am fired up to see more. I'm sure we'll watch more. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.